All
This
right,
conference
so
will now be recorded.
good evening, everyone. So today we are gonna discuss about the grammar part related to, as some of you mentioned that you have a problem in constructing the sentence, you have a doubt about how to use an article, and also that's what we are going to discuss today in the class. So first is what we're gonna start is articles. So anybody has an idea what are the articles? Anyone?
Eight, ma'am, like eight, or there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah. So a and the
yeah.
on in, yeah, these all are articles. So you should know that where to use and I think and is clear to everyone. Yes. And we used with the
Vowels. A E I O U.
vowels. And what are vowels?
A E I O U. A E I O U.
Very good. A E I O U. Yes, that's vowel. Okay. So So today we are going to discuss on articles, nouns, and then we are also going to discuss about using simple. I always keep on saying that in writing, please use a complex sentence or a compound sentence. So what is that? We are going to discuss that as well. And the most important part, which is very important, that is called subject and verb agreement. So if you will keep these few things in your mind, then you can easily avoid the grammar mistakes, which has a weightage of 20% of marking is of grammar. Remember that. Okay, so this 20% is really, really important. Okay, so a and the. So and is used with the vowels. A we used when everything is a singular. For example, a girl, a boy, and especially when you write patient presented with a complaint of migraine. Only one problem. So don't write complaints. Don't write the complaints. You will just write a complaint of migraine. Okay. And next is the the. So where we use the when the things are already specified ones. For example, I think we discussed that yesterday also. If I have already mentioned in the first para about the patient who visited uh, my clinic or patient visited clinic with this complaint. So I know that which clinic or which hospital. So if I'm writing the same thing in the second para, patient presented with complaints of patient presented to the clinic. Now I can write the clinic because it is the same clinic which I've mentioned in the first para. So when I repeat the things, simple, जब भी मैं कोई चीज रिपीट करूंगी तो वहां मैं द नाउन के आगे लगा सकती हूँ. आर्टिकल्स नाउन के साथ लगता है, ये याद रखना. And what is noun? Noun could be a person, it could be a place or an object, it could be anything. Okay, so what you need to keep in mind, a and the, which I already told you. A and an we used when there is unspecified noun. You don't know, about it is unspecified. And the we used with the definite noun when it is fixed. That has already been referred to. That's what I told you if it's a repeated one. Okay, now second important thing is use of simple tense, complex tense, and compound tense. Now, I'll give you one example now. Simple example. Now, you have to give me an example after this. So, be very careful while understanding, okay? You can note down. You can use a pen and paper. Okay. So let's say it is simple. Simple tense. Simple tense is she is a beautiful girl. She is a beautiful girl. This is simple tense. Yes. If I have to make a compound sentence, what is example of the compound sentence is she is a beautiful girl and she has a cute smile or beautiful smile. She has a beautiful smile. So this, if you look at the sentence now, what you have written, both the lines are different. It is not depend on each other. It is not dependent on each other. Verbs are not dependent on each other. It is different. We use the different, subject is also different. First line is she is a beautiful girl, is a complete sentence, and she has beautiful smile. This is also a different, because subject is there, she has a beautiful smile. So this is a different sentence. But I used and there, which make it compound sentence. Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Then I'm going to give you, and you are going to tell me later on. So I want you to understand this. Is it clear, simple, and compound?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
I hope you guys are noting it down.
Mm.
Okay. Now the third is complex sentence. Now please listen carefully, and I want you to write down this. Have you written the first one? She is a beautiful girl. Second, she is a beautiful girl and she has a beautiful smile. Complex is she looks beautiful when she smiles. She looks beautiful when she smiles. So that means my first sentence is dependent on the second one, and the second one is dependent on the first one, because she looks beautiful when she smiles. She smiles, then only she looks beautiful. So both are dependent on each other. There is only one subject, but I have made it complex by using when, who, which, where. These are the sentences which make it complex. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So can you repeat that, what the sentences you have written for compound?
She looks beautiful when she.
Compound sentence means it has separate meaning. Each before the
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah, it is not dependent on each other. Yeah,
Each
they don't
others.
need the support of each other.
Each
But when I
other.
talk about complex, it depends on each other. It
Each
depends on
other.
each other.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to enlarge these case notes. I hope you guys can see these case notes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's given patient named Derek Swenson. Derek Swenson. Patient history, male 45-year-old married man, family history of obesity and heart disease. Symptoms, fatigue, urinating frequently, and blurred vision, thirsty all the time. Diagnosis, type 2 diabetes, examination is this, treatment is this. So I'm giving you all 2 minutes and you are going to make simple sentence from this, compound sentence and complex sentence. Are you ready now? Yes? Your two
Yes.
minutes starts now. You can also write down in the chat box. Okay, done? Yes, Rumi.
Yeah. Simple sentence I can say Mr. Derek Swanson is a type 2 diabetic patient.
Mr. Simpson's a diabetic patient. Do we use the word patient in writing? No,
No,
no. But
no.
okay, if I
Mr.
don't compare it with the writing, but when you have a
It is,
name of the patient, then why do you need to say patient?
yeah, it is wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Mr. Derek Swanson is type 2 diabetic.
Is, do you think some other sentence will be there? You can also say Mr. Eric Svensson has type 2 diabetes. Has, not is.
Mr. Derek Johnson is a married old man. He is
Yeah, he's married. Yeah.
he's obese and he has a heart disease.
hmm Okay.
He is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, this all is simple sentence. Okay. Yes, Devinder?
He's a married and having so many symptoms of that.
Having so many. Okay, we don't write so many.
Okay.
Having is also not a good grammatical word. We avoid using having in official letters.
Okay.
We can
Okay, all
write like
right. Yeah.
he is
And
diagnosed
what
with
about
type
the yeah, simple tense is okay. I can show
uh,
you.
for
Basically, a simple sentence is, a short sentence, as I told you, in which subject and verb is included. That's it. And there is nothing dependent on each other. It has only one independent clause. So, for example, here it is, Mr. Swenson has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Or you can also write, Mr. Swenson has type 2 diabetes. Both are correct. If you're writing diagnosed, then you have to write has been. If you're writing just directly, Mr. Swenson has type 2 diabetes. It's a simple short sentence. Yes, with the independent clause. So this is a simple sentence. Is that clear to everyone? So in your letters, all the three types of sentences should be there. Now coming to the compound. Now give me an example of compound.
Mr.
Like
Johnson has
here you
diagnosed
say,
with type 2
Yes.
diabetes, for which
Mhm.
he is taking metformin 1000 milligram.
for which. Is it a complex or compound? I'm asking for compound.
Compounds.
Mr. Swenson is diabetic and he takes metformin 1000 mg.
Okay, he takes metformin. Okay, both are independent clauses. Okay, all right. Yes, Romy, you were also saying something?
No.
No, you said something. Repeat it.
Grammar is so poor. What can I say?
Nobody is genius here, including me.
At
We
at
all are.
morning, I gone through like a independent clause and some of the grammar. I gone, but it is clicking my mind somewhere.
Okay. So independent clause means when sentence is not dependent on the other. Like it is a simple
Each other.
sentence.
Yeah.
Mr. Swenson has type 2 diabetes. Simple sentence. Now compound sentence I told you, which has two sentences and each one has a different subject and not dependent on each other. For example, the patient has been suffering from fatigue, or Mr. Swenson has been suffering from fatigue and he has been urinating frequently. Now, both are different. He is fatigued and he is urinating frequently. Now, this is the symptoms I have written. If you look at the symptoms, fatigue, urinating frequently. So, for these two symptoms, they made a sentence that the patient has been suffering from fatigue and he has been urinating frequently. So this is compound because both the sentence have subject and different verb, independent verb.
It
Is
means
that
both
clear
are
now?
not depending with each other.
Yes. Fatigue is different, urinating is different, but I have combined only with and.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Ma'am, can we
Can
use
I
suffering
give
from?
one sentence, ma'am?
Sorry?
Can I give one
Yeah.
sentence? Can I give
Yes,
one
please.
sentence? I'm just trying.
Yes.
I'm just trying. Maybe
Uh-huh.
wrong or right. I went
Doesn't matter.
KFC and had a, I went KFC and had tasty chicken. This is right sentence?
No.
Uh,
You went KFC and you had chicken over there. So it is dependent on each other. Or if you are saying like I went to KFC and
hmm.
I had chicken. If you will say chicken over there, then it is wrong. If you will say I had chicken,
Yes.
no, both are different things. Then it is okay. But I went to KFC and I had a chicken over there. Over there is KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
it is related to the KFC.
what I mean, I want to say, I went KFC and had a tasty chicken. Means मैं KFC गया और वहाँ tasty chicken खाया.
हाँ मैं समझ गई वहां टेस्टी चिकन खाइए वहां तो फिर KFC के साथ रिलेटेड हो गया ना
Okay, मतलब दोनों एक दूसरे के ऊपर डिपेंड हो गया इसका मतलब.
हाँ वो अलग होना चाहिए जैसे यहाँ लिखा है
Okay.
पेशेंट को फटीग है और उसको यूरिन
I'm
की
sorry, my
प्रॉब्लम
friend, if someone. I'm sorry, I speak regional language. I'm so sorry.
नो इट्स ओके इट्स परफेक्टली फाइन यू शुड हैव अ क्लैरिटी अगर तुम्हें क्लियर नहीं होगा तो फिर फायदा नहीं है ना तो इसलिए इट डजंट मैटर
Because
अब
at
क्लैरिटी
morning I was
हो गई ना
going about the independence clause and some of the comma and the semicolon, all these things, how can going to be used like a conjunction and the connectors. And I felt in the writing it's really is very, very important. If you know exactly where to put a comma, conjunction and connector, then your writing is going to be better.
Yeah, of
And
course.
if misunderstood, then it always is problem. You doesn't know where to put a comma, where to, like a
Yes.
post office, where to put a full stop. Like
Yes.
yesterday, I see someone they ask like a Mr. Should we put a comma or not? And since yesterday, my mind is going on why supposed not to put a comma, why supposed to put a comma. And today I come to know complete conclusion because they say if sentence is complete, then you have to put a comma. If your sentence is incomplete, you are not authorized to put a comma.
Yeah,
That is wrong.
absolutely.
That's why, Mr. You are not going to put a comma, like a full stop. I'm sorry, not a
Yeah.
comma, full stop. That's why in the Mr. we are not going to put a full stop.
Yeah.
That's always you are just going a Mr. because MISTER if you are writing, then we are right to put a full stop. Otherwise, you are not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. Good information for everyone. So here we are
Yeah, and
talking about the compound sentence. So compound sentences, like both are different, right? I hope everybody got an idea now. Can we move further if it is clear?
Ma'am, can we use suffering from in letter or it letter?
Usually, if you will go through Rebecca's video, she mentioned in somewhere the suffering. What I meant, the suffering is basically considered a more something which is very painful. Okay, so shouldn't use for this kind of a diseases like fatigue, like here it is. Then I always say avoid using suffering in writing.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, we can write instead of suffering, there is other word experiencing, right?
Oh,
So avoid this. Okay, so coming to the third sentence, which I said you complex sentence, as I gave you an example, it depends on each other. Now look at the example, what they have given here is that as a result of high sugar levels deducted in his blood, he has been commenced on metformin 1000 mg. Okay, so because his blood sugar was high, that's why metformin was given. Now look at this sentence. Both the one is an independent, another is a dependent clause. And now it is dependent on the independent one. Now, which is independent clause? Can anybody give me an example? Yes. Which sentence has independent clause?
not able to see. Can I just go up?
Yeah. As a result of high sugar levels detected in his blood. Okay. Now, this is one sentence that as a result of high sugar levels detected in his blood, he has been commenced on metformin. So metformin is dependent on the sugar level. Are you getting me? So that is why it is a complex sentence here. You have to understand this because you have to make sentences like this in the letter. That will increase your score.
Jaslin, ma,
Is that clear? Yeah.
I have I have a one doubt, and because of the grammar class, that's why I'm asking. Mostly, I have a confusion. Like when we supposed to write has been, when we supposed to write like a have been.
You're asking me the difference between has been and have
Yeah,
been.
like a had, and has been, have been. This just
Mm-hmm.
like not
Okay.
the very dare,
Mm-hmm.
just not a very dare.
All
Like,
right.
just I want to know exactly where, like if you're creating sentence, where we can
Mm-hmm.
use commonly.
Yeah.
Not, I'm not
So,
asking the very dare.
okay. Okay. Now I'll give you a very simple example for this. Has been and have been both are under present perfect continuous tense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Both are, you can say both are sisters. Both are under present perfect continuous tense. Now, difference between have you will use only with the plural, and has you will use with the singular. Now, what is
Oh.
singular? You can write down. Singular is he, she, it. So whenever your subject is he, she, it, you will use has.
Mm-hmm.
If your subject is I, you, we, they, you will use have
Yes.
been.
Okay. Because I always
Okay?
get confused. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So I,
Understand.
you, we, they is a plural. You will use have with this, and has with singular, only three singular: subject he, she, it.
Because in our writing, mostly we are going to use a has been, not a have been.
Yeah,
Right.
because it is used with the
Because
plural. You are writing for one patient, so you are using
yes,
the subjects he or she. That is why you are using
yeah,
has been.
always, mostly is going to go has been, never is going to come like a have been. That's
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah. But if you are writing for, let's say, for mother and baby both, then you
Okay.
can use have been. They have been.
All right. Still, I understood. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
great. So I hope these sentences are clear to everyone, because this is really important and going to be a very important part of your letter. Now, what I want you to do, this is the case notes which I showed you earlier also, and I want you to make a small summary of this in 2 or 3 lines. Maybe 3 sentences, 3 to 4. Can you write down the summary? Because this is given as a note, same like it will be given in your letter, the task, but you have to make a sentence. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to make sentences. Ready? So your time starts now. Okay, your time over.
Yes.
So what you have written?
Can I come with the first sentence?
Yes. I need a whole summary.
Mr.
Yeah.
Derek. Okay. Mr. Derek Swanson has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
First and second, if I'm created in this continuous, and has been a history of obesity and the heart disease.
Mm-hmm. We
As
don't
his sugar level is
use a word history of. Keep this in
then
mind.
if, okay, then what I'm going to use at place of this word?
Sentence. He has been heart disease, because heart disease is something which is in the past and continues for rest of the life in the future
Okay.
as well.
I already wrote, but I wrote already, but mistake. Okay.
Then you can use has had. He has had
Yeah, I wrote.
heart disease.
Yeah, I, I wrote. He has been a obesity and the heart disease.
Fine.
Yeah, as his sugar level is high and metformin 1000 mg has been commenced.
Has been commenced. Has been something in the past, in the future. But metformin is started now.
Have, it means have been,
No, it means it is
had been.
commenced. Yeah, he's commenced on. Okay, anyhow, he has been commenced on metformin. Okay, all right. What next?
In the comment, at place of the comments, I can also use the initiative,
Sorry,
initiated,
instead of
commenced.
commenced, initiated. No, instead of commenced, you can write advised, prescribed.
Okay,
You can write these words.
right.
Okay, all right. Yes, Banjir. Banjir, are you
Hello,
there?
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Have you
Adding
written a
find with
summary?
Mr. Schwensen, a 45-year-old man, presented with complaints of fatigue, blurred vision, tasty, along with frequent urination. After doing his blood test, he has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, for which metformin 1000 mg was started.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I will show you the example now that how you can write. This is just in 3 lines they have written as a short paragraph. This is what Benazir is called how to write precisely. Okay, now look at this whole paragraph, which has almost, if you will look at here, this has almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. And how do we write it precisely? In this way, that Mr. Swenson has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. He has been suffering from, or he has been experiencing fatigue, and he has been urinating frequently. Now, this is a compound. They started with simple. Remember the combination. First sentence simple, second sentence compound, third sentence complex. As a result of high sugar level detected in his blood, he has been commenced on metformin 1000 mg. That's it. It's completed.
Ma'am, in the case note, if we are having more than more complaints, so is there any, do we need to include all the complaints?
Not really. You can just highlight the main things.
Okay.
I hope it is clear now to you. So if you
Yes,
will
ma'am.
make a formula of these 3 sentences in for each paragraph, I think you will learn how to write precisely. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, great. So now
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm going to, yes,
Ma'am, Nimmi, ma'am. Ma'am,
yes,
actually, is there a condition to when we are writing the introduction part is too complex or too compound like that? Is there any condition in the introduction, ma'am?
no.
No. Okay.
Okay, that is about in the paragraph you can describe it. So this is a small activity for you guys. What you have to do, you have to find examples of simple, compound, and complex. Okay, and you have to put it together to form a cohesive piece of writing, like the same how to I said write precisely with using all the 3 sentences. Okay, so this activity you can practice this at later on. So now I'm gonna focus at something which is really very important, is called subject and verb agreement. It's a very important part of grammar. So anybody has idea about it? Yeah. Subject verb agreement, very important in all the English classes. You might have heard a lot of lectures in IELTS, in OET, everywhere. I mean, whenever it comes, if we talk about English. So the subject and verb agreement is very, very important. And these are very common mistakes, of subject and verb agreement. Now, as I told you, I think I have noted very clear in the first letter, which we already discussed, of Mrs. Ray and her newborn baby for short-term accommodation. Now, in intro, you all have a habit of writing um, who requires, because you write for a single person. So you all have a habit of writing who requires. So you all have written here also, you wrote that I'm writing to refer Mrs. Ray and her baby for short term. This they requires. They requires is wrong. They is a plural, and requires s or es we use with the singular only. So this is the first important rule of subject and verb agreement, that you have to keep in mind the s or es. Now look at this sentence. Can you look at the sentence? Can anybody read it? The doctor recommend keeping the patient under observation. Can you tell me what is the problem here? Quickly.
Recommends.
The doctor recommend keeping the patient under observation.
Recommends need to come.
Recommends. The doctor recommends. Okay. All right. So doctor is a singular. So what you have to write is recommends. S. It is very, very important. If you will write like this, you will lose the marks. Got it? Okay. So there are 2 ways to write this now. Look at the first one. It says the doctor recommends keeping the patient under observation. Now look at the second sentence. The doctors recommend keeping the patient under observation. So why in the second line there is no S with the recommend?
Doctor is singular. That's why we have to.
Doctors are, and doctors are plural.
Yeah, very
Plural.
true. In first sentence, it is a singular. That is why we are using S with the recommend. And in second sentence, it is doctors, plural. So we will not use S with recommend. This is one of the important rule. I hope it is clear and you guys are writing it.
Yes, ma'am.
So this was the simple present tense. Now coming to the simple past tense, that what is the problem here? Now look at this. Now this is also a very common problem. The cardiologist spoke with the head nurse. The cardiologist spoke with the head nurse. Can you tell me this sentence are wrong or right? Yes, this sentence is right or wrong? Come on,
Cardiologist.
quickly. First
Cardiologist
one is
spoke
right or
with
second
the
one is right?
Both are correct only, ma'am.
Mimi, are you looking very intelligent, huh? Rumi, which one is correct?
I have no idea. It's me, I think is second one is correct. Maybe first one doesn't look anything incorrect.
Actually, both are correct.
Yeah.
There is no S or ES in the past tense. It is only in the simple present tense. Is that clear now? S or ES
Okay.
will be only implemented in simple present tense, not in past tense. In past tense, it doesn't matter if the subject is a singular or a plural. It will be a second form of the verb always. Clear?
It means even if
And
you
no
can
S or
put
ES
a
in
yes,
the past. Sorry?
Jaslin ma'am, if you can,
Yeah?
Jaslin ma'am, if you can put a yes, either if you just don't put a yes, it still is going to write.
I didn't get your question. If you will put S in the
My
sports,
question like the cardiologist spoke with the head nurse, like a, and
mhm,
second is written the cardiologist spoke with the head nurse. I mean, in the if you can see in the first cardiologist, there is no yes, and the second line cardiologist with the yes. It means if we can put a yes, either don't put a yes, both are going to correct in the past simple tense.
in simple past tense, cardiologist means one doctor, cardiologist means many doctors. So either
Hmm.
one person spoke or many persons spoke, but verb is
But
same.
don't,
There is no S or ES.
okay.
S or ES comes with the verb, not with the noun, not with the subject. Okay, so it is implemented only in the simple present tense. It's very simple. Just remember the rule of the thumb rule of the grammar. S or ES with the singular will be used only in the simple present tense. That's it. Okay, now coming to the other tenses, regardless to whether it is singular or plural. Now let's take an example of this. The patient is undergoing a new type of therapy. Is it correct or not?
It's not correct, ma'am. Patients are.
Underwent.
Patients are
Patient
underwent.
type of therapy.
Underwent.
Patients
Mm-hmm.
are, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So which is the verb in this tense? Patient is a noun. Verb is?
Is.
What is the verb?
Is auxiliary verb.
Is
Verb
this
is
auxiliary
undergoing.
verb? Yeah, verb
Undergoing
is
is
undergoing. It is a continuous tense. Yeah,
yes.
undergo, underwent, undergone. Right? This is undergo. First form plus ing, undergoing. So this is a verb. So auxiliary verb should match with the subject. If the subject is singular, I will use is. If the subject is plural, I will use are. If one patient is, if more patients are, ARER, the patients are undergoing a new type of therapy, or the patient is undergoing, one patient is undergoing a new type of therapy. I think this is very easy and clear to everyone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I will share this task with you guys, and because this is quite big and lot of um, exercises are given to practice. You guys can practice about subject and verb. Okay. Now, what is the main second part of subject and verb? I am just going to cover this short part because this is really important. A lot of people do this mistakes very commonly. Now, look at this sentence. The doctor and nurses consulted with the patient. The doctor and nurse consulted with the patient. There will be multiple subjects. Okay, how you will handle the verb with the multi? If there is a one subject, you know that if it is a singular, which verb you have to use. Now in this sentence, there are two nouns. One is doctor, another is nurse. Two subjects.
Yeah.
Only one verb, consulted. So is it matching? Is it correct or not? Tell me quickly if this is right or wrong.
It is doesn't sense is right, but I don't know what is wrong.
Okay. Yes. Nimi?
It's correct only, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Okay. It is correct only. Okay. Benjamin. It's sorry, Benjamin or Benazir?
Answer, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry,
it's
dear.
correct, ma'am.
Yes, Benazir. Okay. So actually, if you look at this sentence, it look like it is a simple past tense. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not going to affect with subject and verb agreement. But a small change can make a mistake. Let's say in next example, if you write the doctor and nurse has consulted with the patient. Is this correct?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why it is not correct?
It has come, ma'am. How has to come?
Doctor and nurse, no,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Yes.
doctor and
No,
nurse.
has.
Both are, so how should become?
Have. Okay. Auxiliary verb is has here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because of this has, now the simple past tense is changed to the present perfect tense, right? But it is wrong. As very truly said, there are two subjects. It will be have consulted with the patient.
How?
That's what we discussed now, what Romy asked. So have will come with the plural. There are two subjects, then it would be have. All right?
had with the plural and the had been with the
Yes.
Singular. Very true.
just right.
I'll give you another example. When you have a multiple subject and they linked with the and, you will treat them as a plural subject only. Okay? But if instead of and you are using or, nor, then you will consider it as a singular. I'll give you an example now. Neither the medication nor the physiotherapy have seemed to positively impact the patient's condition. Now, how many subjects are there? How many subjects are there? There are two.
Subjects two are there.
Yeah. And verb?
Verb is only one.
Verb is only one. Okay. And so is this correct?
First one is not correct, ma'am. Second one is correct.
Correct.
Neither the medication nor the physiotherapy has seemed to positively. Why? Now tell me. What you said is correct, but why?
Patient, in first sentence, that patient's condition means singular noun.
Hmm. Hmm. What is subject, by the way? What is subject in this tense? You said two subjects. Can you tell me what are the two subjects?
Medication
The
and physiotherapy.
medication.
Yes, subject is not patients. Subject is medication and physiotherapy. There are two subjects. And verb is impact. This is what I told
Yes.
you. If you are using or or nor, it will be considered as a singular. I'll tell you the difference now. Look, neither the medication. Medication is singular or plural?
Medication is singular, ma'am.
Very good.
Singular.
Physiotherapy?
The uncountable.
Physiotherapy is
It's
also singular, right? Both the
yes.
subjects are
Singular.
singular. And that is why your second tense is correct. You will use has because both are singular. And it is written nor. When in between these two subjects, the word nor or is there, it will be considered as one singular. So I will use has, not have. Please remember that. Very common mistake. Clear? But
It means
instead
if,
of
if
this,
there is sorry, Jaslin ma'am, if there is two subject like a medication and physiotherapy, then we are going to use a singular, not a plural. You want to say?
very simple. If you, I'll give you another example. If I'm using, now look
Okay.
at this sentence. In this sentence, I've
Okay.
used nor, nor, nor.
Mm-hmm.
If there is or no or nor, these two things are there. Please note down. If it is or
I'm looking.
nor, the end subject is singular. You will consider it as a singular subject and you will use auxiliary verb has. But
Yes, ma'am.
if your subject, like look at the third sentence, please here, it is written neither the physiotherapy is singular here. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Nor the
Mm-hmm.
medications is plural, have seemed to positively impact the patient's condition. Now very clear. Medications is plural.
Right.
Yes or no? Medications is plural. Medication is singular, medications are plural. So that is why they have used here auxiliary verb have. If my subject is plural, I will use auxiliary verb related to that. If my subject is singular, both the subjects are singular or the closest one is the singular or plural, I will use that. I hope it is making sense to everyone. रोमी वेरी क्लियर. अगर आपके सेंटेंस में दो सब्जेक्ट हैं, एक मेडिकेशन एक फिजियोथेरेपी है, उन दोनों के बीच में अगर नॉर यूज होता है, एनओ और नॉर, प्लीज ये ग्रामर के रूल्स हैं, इसको याद रखना पड़ेगा आपको. एनओ और नॉर है या और है, और मतलब या लिखते हैं ना, मेडिसिन या फिजियोथेरेपी.
Yes, yes, yes.
मेडिसिन भी नहीं और फिजियोथेरेपी भी नहीं, दोनों चीजें ही नहीं काम की पेशेंट के ऊपर. तो वो सब्जेक्ट तो मेडिकेशन सिंगुलर है और फिजियोथेरेपी भी सिंगुलर है, तो हम उसमें हैज यूज करेंगे, सिंगुलर मानेंगे उसको, दोनों सब्जेक्ट्स को.
Right. Thank you. I
लेकिन
understood.
अगर इसी सेंटेंस में अगर मेरे पास नॉर ही है लेकिन मेडिकेशंस आ गया, मेडिकेशंस प्लूरल हो गया, एस लग गया, तो मुझे हैव लगाना पड़ेगा.
Okay, just a minute.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So in this case, word medication is in a plural form, इसीलिए हमने वहां पे have लगाया है. फिजियोथेरेपी तो फिजियोथेरेपी ही रहेगा. फिजियोथेरेपी का प्लूरल तो, what is the plural of physiotherapy? Is there any plural of physiotherapy?
No, ma'am.
Physiotherapy is a group of treatment, right? So it is itself is the plural. It is singular also and plural also. So there is no plural for physiotherapy. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want you to confuse more, but it's only thing you need to remember. This is the last example which I'm going to share with you. Now look at this. There are 3 sentences. Understand this very carefully. If you understood this, there will be no grammar mistake. Now look at this. There are 2 drugs. First one is ibuprofen and paracetamol were suggested for pain management. Were suggested for pain management. Is this correct or not?
Correct, ma'am.
Yes, it is correct.
Ibuprofen, singular. Paracetamol, singular. Were suggested for pain management. So everybody is saying correct. So can you give me the reason why? Because this both are singular, subject both are singular.
It's joined with the and, ma'am.
Because we use and instead of
Very
or.
good. Yeah, very good. Very good. Now look at the second sentence. It is ibuprofen or paracetamol. मतलब ये कह रहे हैं ibuprofen या paracetamol, इन दोनों में से कोई एक पेन मैनेजमेंट के लिए सजेस्ट की गई है. दोनों में से एक, तो सिंगुलर हो गया, इसीलिए वहां was लगा है. लेकिन फर्स्ट सेंटेंस में वो कह रहे हैं ibuprofen भी और साथ में पैरासिटामोल भी, दोनों देनी है, तो दोनों प्लूरल हो गए, इसीलिए वहां वर लगा. राइट रोमी?
Yes, just now. Yes, ma'am, you are right. Now I understand, because ibuprofen and paracetamol is became a plural. That's why it's using word. Ibuprofen or paracetamol, which option is left only one, like either ibuprofen, either paracetamol. It still become a singular. That's why using a was.
Very good, very good. Now third is ibuprofen or similar drugs were suggested for pain management. Now tell me, this one is very tricky. Tell me.
Still is becoming a plural, because ibuprofen are similar, means more than one.
Drugs.
Because drugs.
Because of drugs.
It become a plural. Yeah, it's become a plural.
Is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
This one, if you don't mind, Jaslin
Yeah.
ma'am, if you don't mind, this writing, like you are teaching really is very nicely. If point by point, just explain where in the writing criteria, like where, which para mostly this kind of the sentence we are creating in the medication management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wherever you are writing it, for example, you are writing as a treatment part, you mostly you write this medicine is advised, right? So you can make a sentence over there and be very careful. Let's say the patient has been recommended on morphine and brufen. Now there is one sentence, writing task 4. Maybe you guys have to get right on where the patient has a head injury after the fall. So with the previous visit, he was advised to take pethidine and one more drug was there, Maxilon. So there were two drugs. So you can write there, two drugs were as advised. So that means the first sentence will be implemented. Okay, so you can say that ibuprofen, you can, this is a passive sentence. So you can write injection pethidine and injection Maxilon were suggested for pain management.
Yeah, yeah.
Same sentence
Because
you
I
can write
see
that.
the like a sentence, then how can you are going to make a correct grammar in
That's
the
why we are,
writing? Because
that is why we are using medical sentences only, so that you can use the same, you
yeah,
can use the same sentence. You just have to maybe change the name of the medication.
yes,
Let's say the patient has been, after the surgery, patient has been initiated with physiotherapy and rehabilitation. So you can write physiotherapy and rehabilitation, or the exercises were suggested.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can use this kind of
Even
sentences over there. Just keep
it
this
means
subject verb
there are three
agreement.
subjects.
Sorry?
Sorry, Jaslin ma'am. Just now you say like three subject. Like you said like two subject like ibuprofen and paracetamol
Hmm.
and physiotherapy is suggested.
Exercise of physiotherapy, same thing. You
Yeah,
don't need to
yeah.
make three
That,
subjects for that. You can just write physiotherapy and rehab because exercise is a part of physio. Yeah. If all are
okay.
singular, you can use the auxiliary verb as per that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, Benazir, I hope this session was useful for you and for everyone. And I hope you
Yes.
must have learned how to write precisely and what kind of a sentences you have to make and what are the grammar rules which you have to keep in mind. You must check your letter even after writing for these small mistakes, so that you can avoid this kind of a mistakes. And I'm sure you will keep all this in your mind when you will write your next letter now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, any further questions for me? Yes?
No,
Any
ma'am.
questions for me, dear? No? Okay, so, okay, so wish you all a very good luck. Keep yourself, use the safety measures, be safe, and keep on practicing. Okay? And see you all tomorrow at this time. And you guys can
Ma'am,
also join
tomorrow,
me in morning at 10 a.m.
ma'am, tomorrow is it writing or speaking class?
Benazir, the writing sessions are over for now. Okay, so
Okay.
now onwards, you can just send me your letters.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do the correction and we'll send you back. And for the rest
Okay.
of the guys, our focus will be on speaking. So Devinder, I want you to please, before you sleep today, I know you might have to take your dinner, but if you have a time, please go through the speaking criteria video on YouTube channel. Just write on our YouTube, JASLEEN Kaur's Academy. You will get all the videos and you can go through that. And you can also go through the Skype sessions, recorded sessions in the Skype. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
Jasleen, ma'am.
yes.
Yeah, and the speaking criteria, na, if I'm going through, I'm exceeding the time as allocated not more than 6 minutes. During the practice is fine.
Then you must practice more within the time limit. That means your speed is slow.
Okay.
Then you have to work on the fluency. But you can't say that
Because
I can't finish all the assessment part because that is important. You are going to be assessed on that only.
if I'm thinking my speed is fine, like it is mandatory, I have to complete all the topic because I have to give a time for the
That means
interlocutor to.
you talk extra.
Oh,
You talk extra. You have to talk point to point.
okay. All right.
Okay? So join me tomorrow, Romy, in the morning at 10 o'clock.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you have to be there. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
I know I'm sounding quite rude to you, but I have to be strict with
No,
you. You have an
no, no,
exam.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
want you to
not
be
at all.
lenient.
Not at all.
Yeah,
You are not sounding rude. You are doing a part of your job because if I'm a pass, you are going to be happy because you are doing hard work for everyone to get
yeah.
success.
So
At this,
I want you to clear,
even
this. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
even I'm
Okay.
writing a letter, and many times I'm thinking, I'm writing a correct sentence, I'm writing a wrong. So many confusions going on.
No problem, no problem. You have don't have much time, so focus now on the main part, okay? So do your reading, listening, everything on a daily basis. This is not a time now to focus on the grammar part, honestly. These things are done in the starting.
Yeah.
So if you are now, like you said today, you went through this comma and all sessions, I would suggest not to, um,